Alright everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone is doing great today. I know that I am, as per usual. We are starting off a brand new series here called Enigmatica 6. I'm going to mispronounce the name every single time. I even had a pause there to kind of think it through in my head and think through the spelling of it. I don't know why I struggle with it, but we're getting better. I have been like trying to practice it before I started this recording. I've also been doing a little bit of testing, obviously, before the recording to make sure that everything runs properly. So this mod pack is a 1.16.5 mod pack, I believe. So running on one of the more recent versions of Minecraft, so we're going to have all of those fun nether updates that we get to go and explore. I'm super excited about that. Now, as many of you may know that keep up with the channel, we have been playing all the mods 6. That is not going away just yet. We are going to kind of loop the two of these side by side for the next week or so as we kind of offload all the mod 6 and then transition over to this mod pack. I should also say thank you to everyone who has been leaving suggestions on different mod packs and different comments on streams, on different things like that. I do appreciate all of them. I have looked into a few of them, and I kind of landed on this one just because it's a little bit different. I've never played this pack in general. So this name of the pack has been around for quite some time. There's many different versions of it, going back several different versions of Minecraft. And this is the first time I've actually been able to check it out. So I'm excited for it, and I'm ready to get things going. So let us get turned around here. And as you can see, we have gotten spawned in right on a beach here. So this is going to be a little bit of a different gameplay than what we normally do, or we've been normally doing recently. So a lot of our more recent things have been around, a lot of just open creativity and being able to do whatever you really want to do, whenever you want to do it. Now with this one, it is a little bit more quest-based, so we have to keep that in mind as we play through here. But that was kind of one of the reasons I wanted to go for it, is I wanted to have some quest progressions in some form or fashion. Would you look at this right off the bat? We do have a broken nether portal. I don't see any kind of chest around though. Let's just double check. Sometimes it's hidden. There it is. It is hidden right back here in this corner. It is a loot chest from the Loot R mod, and we actually got some good stuff right off the bat. Would you look at that? I am actually pleasantly surprised around that. Now, again, quest-based. Now, it's not a super restrictive quest-based pack. It's more so to help a lot of people who are new to the Minecraft packs get off the ground and be able to understand a lot of the newer mods that maybe you're not super familiar with, especially if you've never played a Minecraft mod pack before. So, a little bit different than the Ocean Outlast Expert that we have previously played. Now, the other thing with this pack is it is based on, I believe it's called Terraforge. So the world generation is pretty much preset based on what the developers, I would assume, want you to experience when you're playing through this. So it's a continent-based map here. It's a little bit hard to see right now because we don't really have much explored. But basically, you're going to have large landmasses then surrounded by different varying sizes of waters, be it oceans, rivers, etc. What are these? Sea beets from Farmer's Delight. We're definitely going to want that. That is a big thing in this pack, is obviously having enough food. As you can see, we're already getting pretty low on our foods, so getting some of this would be awesome. Wild cabbages, too. I didn't know these grew on the beaches, but we'll definitely grab those. But yeah, so continent-based, which is pretty cool. Different, ooh, yeah, watch our step here. Different way of, exploring the world here. And it also mimics some real-world generation of terrain. You can also see we have Alex's mobs in here. We have a Tasmanian devil here, not the Looney Tunes one, unfortunately. This one's a little bit smaller, a little bit cuter, to be completely honest. But yeah, so you will have the low-lying areas, low-lying terrains closer to the oceans and closer to the shorelines, which makes sense. And then you're going to have your mountains and such closer inland. It's also going to vary your overall temperature, your humidity, things like that. There are certain areas that are going to be probably a little bit better for crafting or growing certain things compared to other regions, which is awesome. Now, we are doing a little bit of walking around here because I do want to find a nice place for us to set up shop. That is one thing that I want to try to differ in this pack, is I want to try to do something, a different build than what we have done in the past. A lot of our previous builds have been focused around a lot of green, I would say. Our last pack, we were in a swamp, which I really enjoyed, but ultimately we kind of moved away from that. It would be kind of cool to have a ocean build, or like a piered build. That would be pretty interesting to try out. But I don't know. I kind of like having terrain, and I got a couple ideas. So in this pack, there are a lot of mods. I'm going to do a lot of talking just to give you guys a fair warning here right off the bat, and we are going to go through some of the mods and some of the quests that are in here. But that's usually how your first episode goes. It's a little bit slower as we start getting into things, and that is the other thing too, is I do want to take our time with this pack as well, and really enjoy it, because I feel like there's going to be a lot to do, and I have a lot of good ideas that I want to get out into our blank canvas here, as you could say. So anyway, there are a lot of mods in here. For example, the Create mod is in here, which for those of you, again, who have followed along with the channel, you know that I love the Create mod. It has been one of my favorite newer mods to explore. Lots of mechanical options, I would say. More focused on mechanical movement more than just generating a power via like electricity energy that you would get in, like, let's say thermal or power or anything like that. Now, speaking of both of those mods, those are both in here as well, which I'm super excited to have, regardless if I mainly want to be focusing on the Create mod. And you also have several other mods in here. Industrial Foregoing is in here, Immersive Engineering is in here, as well as several magic mods. So, if we actually hop into our quest line, I guess we could pause here as we are searching around and pull up our quests. So right off the bat, you do get a quest book that you can utilize to get into your quests. Just like so. I think it does take, I don't know if it takes you to the first one right off the bat or not. I think it takes you to this main screen here. But we have the welcome one. Now, if you don't want to use the book, I'm going to real quick give you a shortcut here. So let's take the book off of our hotbar here. You can actually hit Shift and Q, and it's going to pop up your quest lines here. Now, there are a lot of quests to go through. I'm actually going to mix off the camera for a hot second here so you guys can see, because it's going to pop up on the left-hand side. We pop up on the left-hand side, and there is a bunch of stuff for us to go through. So like I mentioned, a bunch of technology mods like Create Immersive, so on and so forth. We do have tools that goes through a lot of the different tool options that we have, and there are quite a few, including armors as well, which is pretty sick. There's also Tetra, which I believe this is kind of like the Tinkerers of the pack, if I am not mistaken. You have logistics, so this is going to be like storage and things like that, which is pretty cool. And then finally the magic at the bottom. So you have ours, you have Astral, blood magic, Botania is in here. We probably won't spend too much time on Botania depending on what we want to go for. And then obviously way at the bottom, we do have resourceful bees, which is awesome. We're going to want to get into that as quickly as we possibly can. Now, there's also Adventure, which kind of gives you some different things to go around and explore. There are some different dungeons you can go through, but obviously we're going to start with getting started. Let's hop back over, get our camera up and going so you guys can see my ugly face. So, welcome to Enigmatica 6. Told you guys I'm going to mess it up every time. Put a drinking game to it for those of you guys who understand. We're glad to have you. Quests are divided into 3 types. So there's exploring, learning, and challenges. It's all pretty straightforward. There's 3 different things that'll expand more on it. It says below, but it's actually back in the main section here. We can hit the check bar, and we're going to get some food from that. Now, this is where it goes over to the 3 different types of quests. So you have exploring, Enigmatica. So the exploration quest line is purpose to show what is all available. So everything that we just went through on that left-hand side there is stuff that we could go through, and talks on tools, storage, and so on. Now we could complete this off and get some experience, but I'm not going to do that just yet because more than likely we're probably going to die at some point, and I don't want to lose those. I'd much rather have those in our back pocket for when we really need them. Then you have learning mods. So this is pretty much just a way to help you get into some of the progression of the pack itself. I almost said Minecraft Dungeons. I have no idea why. But to get into the pack itself and understand some of the things, especially if you are new, like I said, to Minecraft mod packs in general, it's a great way to go through it there. And then you also have challenges. These are pretty straightforward. You know, go out, kill 10 zombies, come back, you know, type of scenario, get this reward. Go out, find this many items, get this reward, etc. So then there's also the modded for dummies. This is actually very convenient, especially if you are extremely brand new to modded Minecraft. This is a book that will actually show you some of the logistics behind some of the front-facing mods. So some of the things you don't always think about that isn't always addressed in a lot of these videos that you might see here on the interwebs. So we are going to get a book from that. That's definitely one book we're going to want to have. And we're going to want to get inside here relatively soon. When we already have a zombie that's coming after us. But we are going to be in a tight spot here. We might actually just want to wait till morning. That's actually that is probably what I'm going to do here is I'm going to kind of push this off and we'll wait until morning. And once morning time comes, we'll hop into this book and I'll show you guys what all it has to offer. Alright guys, it is morning time. I actually found a village relatively close to where we last left off here. And we did also find a chest in here. So I was able to use this bed to sleep through the night. And we found some good items here that we can utilize to get a farm up and going in the near future here. I don't know, can we take this loot chest? I don't know if we can or not. I'm about to find out. No, breaking the chest will delete your unique loot and items. In order to break, you must sneak while doing so. Oh, okay. Very, very interesting. I'm going to grab this purple bed, though, because I feel like it'd be very useful for us. But yeah, we do have a cool little village here tucked up in the hills, which is really cool to see. Unfortunately, I can't really get back into there, but there is a lot of cool stuff for us to see here. We do have a grindstone. We have a Skeletor back there. Let's ignore him. It looks like some zombies had died over here. Let's head in here. Hopefully the music and sounds aren't too crazy. We probably should turn them down just a little bit here. Okay, maybe that was too much. All right, let's turn up a little bit here. Friendly creatures. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Actually, no, we'll turn up friendly creatures. We'll turn that up to like 70. All right, so we have another area here for us to find stuff. We have rusty sheet metal from Industrial Decor. I have never encountered Industrial Decor before, so that's going to be interesting. What can we utilize these for? Oh, you can make some different things. Sheet metal door. Wow, there's a lot of cool things. I'm super excited to get into this. We also have a smithing table here. I'm actually going to grab this. An axe would be much better suited for this, but, you know, it is what it is. We'll take it while we can. Anywho, all right, let's hop back outside here. Let's get to a place where we won't just instantly get killed by a Skeletor. So like I was saying before we cut away, we do have modded for dummies. So this is going to go through a lot of the introductory things that are extremely useful for those of you who really are just starting off in modded Minecraft. So it'll go through all kinds of different tweaks. So crafting, inventory, mouse tweaks, feed the beast, ulti-mine, which I'll show you guys in just a second here. And then ding. You also have the chunks map, so where you can load in chunks and things like that and have them be selected so they won't be destroyed. You also have energy. This will go through all the different energy forms. There's a lot of different energy forms that it can be a little bit confusing at times on how they all work together. You have just enough items, which is what is brought up when we actually open our inventory. On the right-hand side, you have all those different things that you can actually search through. That'll give you some good tips there. You also have quests, pretty self-explanatory, about, and then entry. This is the main one that probably isn't touched on enough, and that is the one probe. So if you guys have noticed thus far, whenever we're looking at something, it has right in the middle the item that we're looking at, what mod it is from, and what tool we would need to break it. Now, sometimes if you hit shift, you'll get actually additional information, which is pretty cool. Now, nothing that we are shifting or sneaking and looking at is giving us anything except for, no, not even that does either. But pretty much this allows us to change that information. Now, it goes through a couple different things here. If you want to read through them, feel free. There is a way to do this later down the line, but you do need redstone for it. So I highly recommend going through the actual command prompt itself to actually configure it if you want to do it right off the bat. So by default, you're going to hit T. That's going to open up your chat here. And then you're going to go to the one probe. Now, you don't have to fully type everything in. You could just type the first one. Hit the up arrow on your keyboard. Or I think you can hit tab, or I think up arrow to select what you want and then hit tab. And then obviously we want config. So we're going to do that just like so, and then hit enter. And this is going to give you all the different presets and settings for this specific mod. So you have the default style, which is what I personally like. There's Walia. There's full transparent, which I think is the default. And then there's this black and white style. Default, like I said, is the best. And then you can also change the scale if you wanted to. I recommend just leaving it at default. It's probably the best, but it gives you a little bit more insight onto how you can get that up and going. Now, this is a very nice starter area, don't get me wrong, but again, it's not really what we are looking for. It would be nice and very convenient to start in a village here. There's a lot of pre-generated things for us to take advantage of. But I want a nice area for us to really set up shop. This is actually unique. I've never seen that before. We have the water in there like so. We'll definitely be coming back to here at some point. But again, for the time being, no real reason to. I kind of want to stick towards like the ocean a little bit or a river. So I think that's what we're going to do. Now, one last thing I actually do want to touch on since we're here is this bounty board from Bountiful. This actually will give you different bounties to try to complete, much like the quests. And that's actually pretty cool that that's in here. So we'll eventually get into that once we get a little bit more set in stone. As you can see down there, I made the mistake. I was holding obsidian while I was trying to run away from some enemies, and yeah, ultimately I kind of ended up placing it down on accident. So we do have some berries around here. Again, I'm trying to pick up as much food as we can because it's really going to be coming in handy. Food goes very quick from what I have seen from my testing. Your hunger is definitely going to bump up really quick, or bump down, I should say, really quick as you move around and you do some exploration. Now, once we find a good place to set up shop, it's not going to be that big of a concern, but obviously we need to do that first. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time looking around, trying to find a decent starter place for us. And then we'll kind of get the ball rolling in that location. I think if we don't find something set in stone, we'll just kind of set up something temporary for the time being. And then obviously, as we get going, we get a little bit more established, then we really will focus on finding our forever home. But guys, with that being said, I'm going to do a little bit of looking around, and I'll bring you guys on back when we hopefully find something cool. All right, guys, I think I have found a really unique spot for us. Now, it's not exactly what I was looking for, but, you know, obviously we can't spend all day looking through things, right? So we are here in a Black Forest clearing, and I just love the aesthetics here. Now, obviously, we don't have our render distance on super high. Can we actually change that video settings, render distance? Can we crank that up? Is it going to, like, really have a hard time? Now, we could get it up pretty high there so it's not too crazy. But anyway, I found this really nice area. There is a tiny little village right here up at the top of this hill over here. But this hill right here, I feel like has a nice little place that we could kind of set up shop on. And there's also a mine shaft right here, which is an additional mod that's in here around some unique mine shafts. So I think up here is going to be our go-to. And we're also right next to this additional forest that is right here, that has some different options for wood. I think there is some ebony wood in there, which is really nice. A nice deep dark wood, which I am a big fan of, to try out. Obviously, we're going to stray away from some of the greens that we have been used to doing. But yeah, we have such a good view from up here. Now, this is not the side we're going to do. We're actually going to come to this side over here because I feel like it's going to be extremely beautiful. I really just want to go higher up. Now, it obviously makes it a little bit more difficult for getting around, but that's going to be where the create mod is probably going to come into play, is with us being up so high here, that we can utilize. We have our clouds way up here. We're so high up here. This is insane. I don't know if I'll go this high up. That's a little bit too high. I want to be able to see what's below me. Now, we could turn the clouds off if we wanted to, but I think that, like, right in here is going to be our best bet. Maybe right over here would be nice. Yeah. I think right in here. If we get, like, kind of here on the cliff side, it's going to look super nice to be able to look out down below. Now, I have gone ahead and collected a few things. I actually picked up some slate, which is pretty cool. We also have pine planks, which I think are a really nice aesthetic. We got some plain old dirt. But obviously, then we're going to start on our next feat here, which is just clearing out some land. And we're going to take a look at our quests here, because I'm sure that our quests are going to offer us some insights in how to maybe get started. I'm not 100% sure. We could take a look at tools. We have a bunch of different tool things here. I don't think it really kind of explains much. Storage, that is pretty straightforward with that. Technology, that goes into create. Interesting. Okay. Is there a way to a nature's compass, dungeon Alex's mobs, oh, the biomes you go, loot trinkets, meet your fight, leave nothing to chance? What is that? No. Okay. I'm actually kind of surprised that it doesn't have even down to the basics. Like, hey, get a crafting table going. Nothing. So, well, obviously, we need to do that. We also need to get a chest going here. Now, this is nice. It actually creates a pine crafting table for us, but we could obviously switch it to the base one if that's really what we wanted to do. We're not going to do that. I think the pine one looks beautiful, so we're going to actually just grab that for the time being. And yeah, I feel like right here is going to be a good place. We'll probably take some of these trees down so we can really get a good view of the valley here. But we're going to place down our crafting table if I had it on the right hand here. Now, you saw me just there utilize one of the add-ons in this pack, which is basically Vein Miner. And I'm going to show you that in just a second here. We're going to get a chest put down so we can get some of our stuff off of our inventory currently. and just free up some wiggle room on things because we got way too much stuff. We definitely need the pine logs, though. I did pick up this slate, which I feel like would be a really nice accent to our builds. So we'll have that there. Don't need the quest book on us currently. We got that, and I think we should be good. So Vein Miner, I think it's also called, what is it called? You have to hit this. Feed the Beast Ultimine, which is something that you can look up in the beginner's book if you so chose to do that. But pretty much, it is vein mining where you can mine multiple blocks of the same kind all at one time. All you have to do is hold the grave key by default. It is the key underneath the escape key on your keyboard, the little squiggly line. You just hold that and then you can mine. And it highlights what all it's going to pick up that is connected. Now be cautious with this because you don't obviously want to destroy more than what you're looking to get rid of. You can also hold shift and it actually can change how you do this mining. So you could have it be a small tunnel, a small square, escape tunnel, etc., etc. I just do shapeless. It's the easiest one to stick with right off the bat. And that's what I would recommend you do as well. All right, we're going to keep going through some of the basics here. We're going to need some sticks, as you can see. And then we're going to have to get... Can we use slate for this, actually? We can. And we can actually make it a stone excavator. This is from Vanilla Excavators. That's actually really cool. I don't know. Does that show up within the progression? Obviously... Oh, just threw it there. Let's see. Tools. There we are. Excavators and hammers. Vanilla hammers and excavators offer 3x3 mining tools that deal with both stone and dirt type of blocks. They make an excellent way to speed up early mining endeavors. And we do get a book and a scavenger's delight from that. So we did get some bricks. So I believe it's just a random placement of bricks there. And then we did get Unbreaking 5. Wow, that is a good find. It is getting nighttime though, so we're going to want to definitely sleep through it. I did grab a bed from one of the villages, as you guys saw, so that is what we're going to use to take a little nap here. All right, so let's give this a go. And it does do a nice 3x3 excavation, which is cool. Now you could use just vein mine if that is what you wanted to do, or the Feed the Beast Ultimine, I guess is what it's now called. But this works just the same, and it is a little bit more focused. That is one of the things that I do run into when I'm going through these packs is you will get these really nice ways of mining things, but then you ultimately end up mining more than what you wanted to be mining in the first place, which is always, you know, not the idea. That's not the goal. You want to just take out what you need to be taking out. And I think, again, I think this is going to be a really nice area. I think taking these trees out is going to be the next thing that we're going to definitely want to do here. So let's go back into here, and let's get a axe going here. Now there isn't anything other than just a wooden actually I made a wooden one. I didn't even check the stone one. I probably should have done that. Yeah, there isn't anything other than just a wooden or stone one in terms of axes, which is a little bit unfortunate, but hey, it is what it is. We're going to try to take out this tree right here. Again, you can just use vein mine on it or Feed the Beast Ultimine. Now it does get a little bit funky when you try to do it, and if you have if you're highlighting a lot of stuff, it'll be a little bit laggy. But you can also do it without tools. As you saw right there, we just did it without having any tools on us. Now, this does take some of your hunger saturation, so do keep that in mind if you're going to go through and utilize this. It definitely doesn't like it when we highlight a lot of stuff. It definitely gets pretty laggy. So there we go. We're getting things taken out just fine here. The other thing we're going to probably want to look into relatively soon is a magnet. Magnets are extremely useful for collecting things, obviously. And we're going to be picking up a lot of stuff as we go along here. We definitely need to get over to this, though. So I'm going to do a little bit of clearing, a little bit of building, and I'll bring you guys on back. Hopefully once we have the basis for our tiny little setup going to get us kicked off here in our new world. So with that being said, we will be right back. All right, guys, so I have spent a little bit of time getting our base set up here, and so far so good. We do need a lot more resources, though, that we just don't have available to us in this immediate location, so we're going to have to do a little bit of traveling, a little bit of mining, you know, the usual stuff. And there's a lot more that I want to get into. I was starting to get this up and going, and I kind of realized, well, it would probably make sense to get into some of the tools, but seeing as we're almost at 25 minutes into our episode here, I figured that we would kind of just wrap it up here in just a second after I show you what we have started over here. So This is what we got going thus far. Yes, there is a traveling merchant up here. Just popped in out of nowhere. I have no idea where he ended up coming from, but we do have our blueberry bushes out here that I put down. But if we jump down here just a little bit, you can kind of get a good vibe of what we got going thus far. This is our, I don't know, Mountain's Edge Lodge, I guess you could say. And we're building it out. I don't know, I might do a little bit of terraforming and put some more dirt out this way to kind of loop it in a teeny bit more so it's not as dramatic. But so far I like it a lot, and it's coming along. It's something a little bit different, and I have a lot of ideas on how I want to be able to be getting up and down off of this this lodge. So we come up here, we have a nice little walkway, a little balcony that we can look over into this nice valley that we have below us. That's really what I was going for, is to have this beautiful view in sight. And then we have the main entranceway into our cabin here. I did go ahead and put these bark mushrooms on here, which is really cool. It's a really cool aesthetic. I feel like just based on this, I'm going to have a lot of fun building stuff in this build. But we mainly stuck with pine wood and stripped pine wood logs here to kind of tie out the walls. We come inside, we do have these slate bricks on the ground, which I think really look nice. I ran out, so I actually put in these crafting tables just to kind of be fillers for now until we can get more of that. Started expanding that direction as well, but as you can see here, we still need a roof. We will get there shortly. We need some more resources as well. But we've started throwing some things together. We got our bed up here, smithing table. I made a stone cutter. This is great for making like these slate bricks down here and so on and so forth. Got our storage chests up and going. We have our furnace over here ready and roaring to go when the time comes to actually get into it. Now I have started going through here, like I said, and I did get some iron ore from oh, I can't even read all of that. It is one long word, but it shows differently than what you normally would think of with iron ore. As you can see here, it is an iron chunk. There are many different things that you can actually utilize these for. I think ultimately in the end, they still act as iron ore when you do excavate them. It's just they call it iron chunks instead of iron ores. Because if we throw it into a smeltery, it is a 1-to-1 to an iron ingot, which isn't that bad. So, yeah, we have this guy just chilling out here. He just doesn't want to go anywhere. He's got some stuff on him, but nothing too crazy. But yeah, we have our random blocks over here. All this is like food and such, which we're going to have to get going relatively soon. We have our wood bin over here, miscellaneous, and then finally semi-good stuff is in that last one up there. But I think it's coming along. All the empty spaces that you see, I want to put glass in here. Just so we can, again, maintain these really, really nice views that we're getting. And so this whole entire wall right here is going to be glass, so we can have a nice peek out down into the valley there. And then we're going to dig into the mountain here a little bit, like you can see. And we'll ultimately end up putting a lot of stuff kind of tucked back in here. We might even stair step it up, or just have long hallways to other buildings. I haven't fully decided how I want everything to be just yet, but I mean, we are in no rush. We got plenty of time to get that sorted out in the coming episodes. But guys, with that being said, we are going to wrap it up there today. A nice little introductory episode to Enigmatica. See, we're getting there. We are getting there. I might actually end up recording an episode right after this one, so if I'm wearing the same stuff, that's why I am. So, but I'm super thrilled to get into this pack. I think it's going to be really fun. I feel like we can have some really cool creative builds up and going, and that's what I'm most excited for. Let me know down below in the comments if you guys are excited to see more of this pack as well. Of course, we are going to go along with some of the quest lines as well. Not only to help us learn and grow in some of the functionality of certain mods, but also to get some good rewards from them. There are some good rewards that we can get. So, other than that, thank you so much for tuning in today, everybody. I appreciate it so very much. If you did like this episode, definitely leave a like down below. It lets me know that you are you're enjoying and you want to see more. If you are new here, definitely hit the subscribe button and bell notification. I'll let you know every single time a new episode is posted here on the channel. I do stream over on Twitch. The link is in the description down below, along with the link to the community Discord if you want to stay up to date with what all is going on here on the channel and over on the stream. I post all of my updates over there, and when we go live, I try to post it over on the Discord as well. If you want those notifications, it's a great place to stop on by. But other than that, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I appreciate it so very much. I'll catch you on the next episode. Take it easy.